Welcome back to the Curate Network. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome and thank you for joining us. Today we have my friend, Mrs. Sabrina Galloway. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, for those of you here who do not know Miss Sabrina, Sabrina wears many, many hats. She's the owner of the Galloway Group. She is the co-owner of Ethics, the brand, with her husband, Langston Galloway. They are the co-founders of the Langston Galloway Foundation and a host of many, many other things that Sabrina does. Sabrina, with all the things that you do, how do you balance it? Do you believe in balance? Is it a myth? How do you do that?
I honestly think that balance is a myth. You know, I don't believe in it. What I call it is the art of the juggle. And so I am very intentional about making sure that I'm prioritizing what is the most important at that current time and then attacking it through list. I'm a lister. And so I think my organization helps, but it really is an art of the juggle with so many hats and also being a wife and a mom, different companies, different specific projects, they take my attention at different times. But I think that with the juggle, I do create my own rhythm.
I love that. And to be successful in anything, especially with all the things that you do, a morning routine is key. So like, what is your morning routine?
No, I definitely believe in a morning routine. I'm an early riser, so I'm up 4:30 in the morning. I think for myself personally, like movement is medicine. And so I'm up, I'm working out either with my trainer or doing, hopping on the Peloton or just, any type of movement to get my day started. And then breakfast, kids. I love dropping my kids off in the morning, whether it's camp, school. I love being able to do that because it's the start of the day. So we're either bumping it in the car with music, talking about our intentions for the day. Just all of that encompasses my morning routine. But I don't start, without moving my body because that is what helps my mind to go.
Absolutely. Movement is medicine. Write that down. I love that. And because you're an athlete, right? You're used to this. You're used to early rising. You're used to getting up. But now you have kids.
Yeah.
And so, how do you incorporate them into your daily routine? You go from being this woman who has all this freedom to just get up and go. And so now how did you manage to incorporating them?
Well, I think, like you mentioned, a lot of people don't know that I also was an athlete. I played volleyball in college, and time management is so key with being able to juggle your school schedule and workouts and practices, games, travel. So I've always been accustomed to this lifestyle that's moving, that's always in transit. And so once we had Langston the second, it was just, we threw him into the mix. We adapted and kept moving. Like he was traveling with me everywhere. We were going to Lang's games. We were still coming back home for work and just other things. And he was my perfect tag-along partner. And now that we have Lee and we have two, what we've done at home is created a system that works for everyone. Everyone operates in their own own zone of genius because they have their own structure, I have my structure, and then Langston has his structure, and it coexists all together. And so I think that we were able to, adapt with kids because I'm like hyper focused. So, All right, number two's here. Like, how will she fit into the mix? How is she getting her extracurricular activities in? This is our family time. It's organized chaos, but I love it.
She is the mix.
Right.
How is she going to fit in the mix?
This
is the mix.
Lee is.
So speaking of family, you and Langston have been together for a really long time. How long have you guys been together?
So we've been together since high school. We met freshman year of high school, and we were friends for about a year through mutual friends, and we just started hanging out, and then all of a sudden hanging out with the group turned to us hanging out together. So it's been great. I think, we've definitely grown together as both individuals and both as a couple. So it's really cool to be now, he just turned 30 in December. I'm turning 30 in July. So it's so nice to be at this stage in life, now with kids. Right. Married with kids. We celebrate our anniversary in June. We'll celebrate 6 years married. Okay. June 25th. And then 1,000 years together. I don't know.
Yeah, 1,000 years together. Absolutely. Being so young and in love, like, y'all met in high school. Were your parents ever concerned about, like, that for you?
I think for me, I was like, my mom and dad have been married for like 30 plus years. And so, but they also had girls. So of course they're very overprotective. Langston was my friend. Like, oh, that's her little friend. He was literally my little friend until he got on one knee and it was like, okay, well, I guess that y'all getting married. Mind you, we've been together for like 6 or 7 years. I don't even know how long when we got engaged, but I don't think they were ever nervous because they had rules, and so we abided by those rules, and it was what it was. But
yeah, like ain't no hanging out in the back of this house.
No.
Yeah.
So like in my parents' house, like there's a door that goes to like the bathrooms in the back, and then the front of the house is like the living room, kitchen. And so Langston always like, do not go past this door. Like my dad did not play. He was like, okay, like if my dad could be in the back chilling, and then if Lang was coming over, we would just be like kicking in watching TV.
It's a family hangout.
Here comes my dad coming to the front. Hey, like he came to see both of us. Hello, welcome. Welcome.
Did you always know that you were gonna marry him?
No. Marriage was never like something. I was never one of those girls that marriage wasn't on my Pinterest board. It wasn't something that I was seeking to do, or marriage, kids, like that entire dynamic. And not that I didn't want it, but I was always very hyper focused on my professional career, like my goals and myself, and making sure that, I finished my education, like jobs, internships, careers, like that's what motivated me and drove me. And then, here you are with an amazing person for so long, and that's the inevitable next step. And then once we got married and then we decided on kids, like it just unfolded. And so it's definitely been beautiful, but it's never one of those things that I was like, oh my God. I'm just so blessed that God provides our path for us instead of us thinking what we need for ourselves.
And also that's super important that this was your focus, right? You were always your focus, and you just so happened to meet such an amazing person to do life with, to build a family with, and that's a blessing.
No, I am so thankful, like forever thankful and grateful for my husband, my kids, like our family dynamic, and especially getting married so young and having kids and doing all that. In our 20s, it was beautiful. Like we were just rocking and rolling. And so it's definitely a blessing, but I'm also glad because I'm still young enough where I'm able to shift and make that shift professionally to, give my daughter someone to aspire to be, a motivator as well. Having her motivates me even more, so.
I feel
it's
that.
all about building the legacy.
I absolutely feel that. So like when you are, because you guys spent so much time together, single and married before you even had kids. Now, do you prioritize, because this is such a taboo topic, right? Okay. Like, do you prioritize your marriage over your children? Or do you see that as like one and the same?
Well, I think it's super important to communicate that before you get married. I think that a lot of times lack of communication doesn't allow, you're like, oh wait, that's how you want to parent? Wait, we should have talked about this. So that goes to say during our premarital counseling, we talked about that, and like we talked about it with the pastor. And so we made a conscious decision to always keep our marriage first, because our kids don't come without our marriage, and our marriage doesn't come without ourselves. And so by intentionally, having a hyper focus on the strength of our marriage and the health of that, I think it's how you are able to become the best parent.
For sure. And so, like, do you ever feel, because that's a conversation that you definitely should have before marriage, but do you ever feel guilty prioritizing marriage over your children?
I think that I get mom guilt and wife guilt.
Yeah.
So it goes two and the same. Like if I'm spending too much time with my spouse, I'm like, oh God, my kids. If I'm doing too much stuff with the kids, it's like, oh gosh, Langston. I'm a very...
The art of the juggle.
The art of the juggle, but also, too, I am, like, very direct in communication about expectations. Like, this is what we're going to get this week. And, too, trying to organize and pre-plan as much as possible so that way no one's let down. And I have very intentional conversations with my kids. Like, people used to make fun of me all the time because since... little Langston was young, I've always spoken to him as if he was an adult. So you can understand me. So this is what we're doing right now. And now as a baby girl, I can see myself being so much more softer, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Like, no, mommy will not be bringing you to soccer. Like,
well, I can see her being very strong.
And being like, well, where are you going?
But then I understand. Cool.
Yeah. So it's like, dad's gonna do that today. Mom is doing, So I just think that by communicating with them, hey, like, I'm out of town for work this week, or this is what shifted, I think that's important, but I also, so that lessens my guilt. Yeah. But I feel bad. Of course, I want to be 10 different people and all things for everyone. Yeah. But it's just not possible. So I try to give myself grace, and it's something that I'm like actively doing because I'm not that good at it.
True. And then, like, to be successful in any relationship, to be successful in business, and when I say relationships, I'm not just speaking about romantic relationships, friendships, partnerships in business. You're going to have to work with people's differences. Yeah. And a lot of times opposites attract, but it's not the thing that keeps you together. And so what I've found over the years, and like having a lot of married friends, is like a lot of the really successful marriages, they tend to come from similar backgrounds, right? You may not have lived the same type of lifestyle, but your parents carry the same values. Yeah. Were you and Langston, did y'all grow up very similar? Did you come from similar backgrounds?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as his parents, like, he came from a 2-home background. So did I. Like, our parents have both been together for a really long time. But I think the essence and center core of our relationship is the foundation of faith and, and our spirituality and how rooted we are in God. And I think that with that, it's easy to build upon that. We are opposites. Like, I'm the loud and, just all, like, very outgoing person. And Langston's a little bit more reserved, and he's always observant. He's, like, quiet in the cut. But together, he's also in business. He's super creative. I'm very strategic. And so together they make great magic. Yes. But it's the foundation of our faith.
Absolutely.
So that we have the same moral compass. And so that's what aligns us to be able to make different decisions, but ultimately
and I think that's what just makes, I just think that is the key to making it work. Like, having the same principles, having the same moral values, and then we can tolerate our different personalities. As a matter of fact, we can actually love these different personalities. Because we need you, but then we also need a Langston.
Yeah, like, we need both.
We love the balance. And that's an actual balance. That's not the art of the juggle.
No, that's balance. That is literally yin and
yang. Yeah. So, being a mom, I know that we've kind of talked before, and you were like, you never really saw yourself as a mom, or that wasn't what you aspired to be. Yeah. A wife, neither. But now that you are a mom and you're an excellent mom, what are your mommy goals? Like, what makes mommy successful in your kids' eyes?
I think that long as my kids experience mom as happy, as joyful, as, that she's so full of life, I think that's what would make me happy as a mom. I think also too, making sure that I'm instilling a great work ethic. So not that they have to experience sacrifice, but they understand, what hard work is. And so that whatever they want to aspire to be, that you cannot obtain those goals without working hard.
Absolutely. How did you see your mom?
My mom was very strong, like very, very smart. And it's crazy that you talk about the balance. I grew up with that. Like, I saw my parents balance each other. I saw them balance work and family. I tell my mom all the time, I don't understand how you just don't work all day, come home, cook, clean. Like, I'm like, wow, because girl, I can't.
Because she don't do that.
Let me tell you, she just... She does not. But my kids are clean. They're fed. Like, it's just different. It's a different method to the madness. But no, like, I experience, like, that's where, I got my work ethic from. My mom was such a hard worker. She's super determined. She motivates me still. She pushes me outside of my comfort zone. And I think by seeing parents that were also very, very rooted in their faith and seeing them, conquer everything, I think it was a great balance of, yes, these things are obtainable, but you work for that. Right. And so that type of work ethic was instilled in me at a very young age, and it motivated me to complete and achieve. Right. And I think that's something that my mom always instilled, my dad as well, is just achieving your goals.
I love that you even had that to look to as a mom, right?
Yeah.
That you had such a strong foundation, and having that type of foundation truly prepares you for motherhood.
I sound like my mom more and more every day, which I'm like, God, like, oh my God, Sabrina, because my mom's name is Sabrina too. But yeah, I think that, even with saying, being a mom and being a wife is not something that I saw so soon, but I was very well prepared because I had a great example.
Right.
So when it came, it was like,
did your mom ever tell you stuff like you gonna see when you have
oh,
kids?
she says it now. Oh my God. So like, if like little Langston does anything or it's the talk, I'm like, what did you just say? And she's like,
told you.
Or Lee, she's walking now, so she's just trotting on, and I'm like, stop. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, no, stop. And she's like, I told you. And I'm like, girl,
it's the karma for me.
Or like, so my kids are not little Langston is friendly, but they are just like, Lee is not friendly at all. She gives you the side eye, like, yeah, can you get out of my personal space? And I tell my mom, I'm like, I just wish she was so nice. And she's like, no, that was you. That was you.
Look at the mirror.
Look at the
mirror.
Exactly like me. So literally, yeah, she doesn't know. She thinks it's funny now. She thinks it's
your kids
pure,
both have mommy face.
Mommy face, and she thinks their attitude is pure comedy. And I'm like, wow.
I love it. I love it because one day you're gonna be telling Lee.
Oh, I'm like,
girl, you're gonna see.
Right.
Keep it up. You gonna see. What do you want your kids to value the most? While we're out here, we're building all of these opportunities for them. We're making opportunities for ourselves, but then we're also building this so that they can have the opportunities to have more of what we have. But what do you want them to value most?
I want them to value their faith. I think that, in this 2022 world, there's just so much material things going on, and we're blessed beyond measures. And so sometimes as a parent, Langston and I always talk about providing for our kids more than we had. Mm-hmm. And then we have to sit back and challenge ourselves because we might not have had everything, but we turned out just fine.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want them to make sure that, they know who they are and whose they are, very, very grounded in their faith, and then also let that translate to their work ethic. Because the Bible even says faith without works is dead. Absolutely. So knowing that is important, and, that in your family.
Yeah. And I also think that growing up, you wish, because none of us came from what we have built already.
Right,
and we have so far to go, right?
Yeah.
But we turned out perfectly fine.
We turned out so fine.
And I think that what you guys are building is very beautiful, but then also teaching your kids, it's not the things that I'm giving you. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying, but most importantly, I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing.
It's the tools, because at the end of the day, I don't want to choose your journey for you.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want whatever choice you make, that you are well equipped as a person to be successful.
Yeah, and that you have the wisdom to truly carry this through. I love that. Did you experience any, so let me preface this by saying, when you are not thinking about, I want to be a mom, right? This is not your vision board. Then when you actually do become a mom, it could be like a shock to your system. Did you experience any postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety with any of your kids?
I think my 2 pregnancies were all different and the same in one bit. So I was never, diagnosed with postpartum. But I did. So with little Langston, I was in school, so I was traveling back and forth at the time. Langston was playing with the Pistons. I was still at Tulane finishing my MBA, and I was just on the move. So I could, I just literally, I didn't think about it because I was just constantly busy. I also was so fortunate to have little Langston during the
off season.
So it just made it so, Langston just came in and was like, swoop, it was perfect.
That is beautiful.
No, it really was. It would be crazy because I was still, I breastfed with both of my kids. And so in the beginning, Lang would be like, look, here, give me the milk. It's fine. At the time, he was still same schedule that he has now with 5 a.m. gym. And so he would that's about the time that Langston would get up. And so he would just take him to the gym. And so then it's like, oh, okay, great. And then I've always had a great village. So my mom, my sister, my mother-in-law, a host of aunts and cousins, being home, it's so nice. And then 4 years later with Lee, it was just a little different. I think that I had a lot of anxiety around making the birth. And then my entire experience with that also too, just like we were at a different world. It was COVID.
Yeah.
And so I think that there were a lot of outside variables that I could not control.
Oh yeah.
And with that, it's just a heightened So I was never diagnosed with hypertension during that time, but because, I was healthy. I literally, between blood work, your analysis, like my OBGYN was so intentional about making sure that I was healthy.
Yeah.
And so I was, but my body, my numbers for my blood pressure were just out of control. Like I went to the hospital twice during Lee, and it was just a roller coaster.
Like a totally different experience.
It was a totally different experience. And so of those mixed symptoms, that was just harder. I had a 3-year-old that was at home and off the walls because he was still at home.
Because he's 3.
Yes, he's 3, and
we're locked inside.
Locked inside, and so that was the reality of that pregnancy. And so what I did was I was able to communicate that, like, hey, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I was able to get help, and so I think that that's also important because in such a although it's a taboo topic, but sometimes it gets over commercialized about, postpartum and just Black women in pregnancy in general.
I think 1,000%.
It's a lot.
Agreed.
So I think that I was intentional about my feelings, my situation, and what I was going through, and able to communicate that to my village, and then we created a plan and work towards help. And it's just really like, hey, who's taking Langston today? Who's taking Lee? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's just that, and it's the same thing that's honestly spilled over into now. Yeah. Because it's not just, you can experience postpartum or any of those feelings up to 2, 3, 4. I don't really know. But I'm just saying that, like, being a mom and just having so much responsibility is hard. Yeah. And so making sure that you're able to communicate that, and it doesn't have to be to the world. It just has to be to the closest to you.
And not feeling any shame about walking through those seasons of I'm like, this is really hard. And don't get me wrong, like, mommyhood is
just as
super beautiful. Like,
right.
Like, it is honestly one of the most rewarding things. Because I'm like you, Sabrina. I never thought that I would.
Yeah, I wasn't like, I'm having 8 kids.
No, that wasn't on my vision board. But that's honestly one of my proudest.
Oh, absolutely.
Things, is being a mom, but also understanding that the way that mommyhood is painted, there's a lot. As soon as you walk into it, you're like, oh, whoa.
Oh yeah, I'm not like, you're not getting the crafts. Like, you're getting the pre-made cookies. Yeah, you're getting the pre-made gift. Like,
let's bring this tray
I think it's like, mind you, I have friends on all ends of the spectrum.
Same.
But I think that the same with careers. Like, I have friends that are in very traditional career paths. I have friends that are not, but still, like, making a living and doing it. But I think it's the appreciation and the value that all of them bring to our ecosystem. And I think that that's what I easily and inherently do, is like, come sit down, like, it's fine, like, whichever, like, if you are, the most craftiest mom or the non-most craftiest mom, like, for the soccer games, it's like, here's a Jason's Deli tray, thank you. Here is the pre-packaged, like,
and we appreciate the Jason's Deli.
Okay,
but we also appreciate the moms who take the time to put together.
I love going to your parties. Yes. Like, I love for my child to experience that. But baby, you're not getting that.
Over here.
No,
okay.
But your kid will be fed. They're gonna have a great time. No. But yeah, so that's just my motherhood journey. I've also been very blessed to have a lot of mom friends, and so I'm always able to bounce ideas, get advice, and I think, taking what I need and leaving what I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what everything.
So what do you do? Like, do you have an outlet to protect your mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I just am creating boundaries in all facets of life. Like, I'm a very private person. And so with that, I'm able to get my alone. Like, I like being alone and not, because I'm able to hear my thoughts, because I'm always in my head. Like, I'm an overthinker. I analyze every situation. And so I just have to overthink my thoughts. Also, too, I like, we all, I don't know, my social meter goes down.
Yeah.
And so I just have to replenish and refuel. And I do that through exercise. I do that through nature. I do that through, just sitting in silence and doing nothing.
Just being.
Just being.
Like, it's okay to just
oh my
be.
God, it's so okay. It's so okay. It's so okay. No.
Don't feel crazy.
No,
this is not for you. This is just for me.
I've found ways the older I get how to replenish back into myself, so that way I'm the best version of me when you experience it.
Absolutely. And so what is your proudest mommy moment?
Honestly, it's right now. It's now. It's the everyday interaction that I see Langston and Lee have together as brother and sister. So like the more personality she gets, how he talks to her. Now I'm like, hey, would you like to, because I try to spend intentional alone time like we both do. So family time, alone time with just Lee, alone time with just Langston, guy time, girl time, just so everyone has their time. But
everybody feels love.
Yeah, so my proudest moment is on Saturday mornings due to soccer, and so he's out there, but he's like, can Lee come? I'm like, no, baby, this is for you. And so then Lee's like waddling, so it takes her all day to get out there. But they play with each other.
But she gonna get there.
But she gonna get there. And so I love the fact that how much he loves her.
Yeah.
And I think that she, like, even if I'm not always here, she will always have her brother.
And having children that get along, that's a huge mommy.
Oh, it's top tier.
So congratulations.
Oh yes, it's top. I'm like, we don't play that.
Yeah, you gonna love your sister.
It's the tackling. I'm like, but you're loving too hard. You're loving too hard.
It's okay, tackle her, because she needs to know what that feels like. Just be gentle,
right, girl. And then
because she gonna get you back.
We'll all get in the bed and like just watch TV or chill or something. And like Lee's like pulling his hair, like pulling it.
He's like, that's why I tackle her.
Right? Like, did you see this? I'm like,
back.
oh no, I don't see that. What happened?
What's happening?
What are you talking about? But no, my proudest moment is that the love that my kids have for each other, and the pure joy that they have playing.
I love that. And so, yes, mom, wife, it's so beautiful. But let's talk about all these irons that you have in the fire. You got the Galloway Group, which is your
strategy and brand development firm.
Okay, and then you also have the Langston Galloway Foundation.
The foundation.
You also have Ethics the Brand.
Ethics.
You are also a part of every single organization that there is known to mankind.
She gathers. She is here. She is a woman of the people.
But then you also have coffee talks. Are you still doing coffee talks?
Okay, so coffee talks are not. So my birthday's coming up, so I've been laying off the caffeine. However, I actually posted one yesterday. So coffee talks are coming back in a different shape, form, but it's gonna be some good content that I can't wait to put out.
Yes.
So I'll definitely.
So can you tell us what coffee talks gonna be, or should we wait?
So no, I love coffee talk. I just as much as the morning motivation is for me, it's also for the people.
Yes.
But coffee talks will be coming back in a podcast. So I'm excited. Yeah. So I had wine with her during the pandemic, and it was great. But then she stopped drinking wine, and so then I was just like, what is something that's all the time? Coffee. And I love the coffees on my story. I think that people really like tap into it, and so it's coming back.
Because she doesn't survive without coffee. There's never gonna be a time where I'm gonna give that up.
I know. I'm super type A. So once my goal is set on July 27th, so I'm just like, no this, no that, no this, no that.
I just appreciate that about you. Like seriously, y'all. I work with Sabrina. And she is very detail oriented. Like we will leave no detail left behind.
No
seriously.
Detail.
And I love that. And I love the discipline behind making those types of decisions.
Yeah.
Just know that she will always be here for coffee talks.
It's perfect.
Because she's never gonna be disciplined.
No, I like, because honestly, you telling me that also motivates me, because I'm like, okay, she's coming. Coffee talks.
Come on, girl. I cannot wait for coffee talks. And so right now, what is a huge focus in your family is the foundation.
Yes, absolutely.
And Ethics the Brand.
Absolutely. So the foundation is huge during the summer because it's usually our annual camps. The Langston Galloway Foundation has been around for 6 years. We serve student athletes by providing them resources off the court to help them be successful on the court.
Love that.
We've deemed those 3 pillars in our vehicles to do so in health, education, and sports. And so probably by the time this airs, this will be great. So the Langston Galloway Foundation weekend, which will be this July, the 15th through the 17th.
Yes.
So we have a gala, we have our annual camp, we're actually refurbishing a court in North Baton Rouge. So there's a lot of things going on. We'll also introduce our new programming for the next 3 to 5 years. And it's just a growth time.
Be there.
Be there. Be there. So we spent the last 6 months really strategically planning on what worked and what were opportunities for growth. You know, so service has always been at the core of our family, and so the foundation is a huge legacy piece for us. And it's important. It's important to Langston. It's important to myself. And we're excited to really introduce the foundation because, you know, we just got it, you know, it's really, we got in and started doing the work. And so now I'm excited to just lay out the plans and, you know, get together with our favorite people. So you'll be there.
Yay! And I think it's great that y'all have like traveled all over the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's played in a lot of different cities, but he's bringing this back home.
Absolutely. So that's the thing. So, you know, out of all the cities that Langston's played into, you get so attached to the people. And so whether he has traded, not re-signed there, or just moved on, we always kept at least one or two programs, any type of holiday giving through in those cities. And some we have still kept up, but what we're doing is centralizing our focus on our hometown, which is Baton Rouge. You know, COVID presented some unforeseen times where we were home for longer than we had been in years. And so it was great because we were able to reconnect, reignite, and not only, you know, have our camp, but have some more sustainable and consistent impact throughout the year. So we're excited.
And y'all been busy through the pandemic. Like, let's not just say, because like y'all have designed shoes.
Yes, so
shoes,
Ethics. Yes,
like Ethics, the
with
brand.
an S. Yeah, so Ethics, the brand. It's a lifestyle performance brand where Langston has been creating this shoe for 2 years from like, you know, him creating, and then it took about 2 years for it to actually manifest, which I've been really excited to be a part of, especially from the operational standpoint. So creativity is all up to him. Him and his designer, they have been, you know, in the lab, and it's exciting because as a Black-owned shoe brand in a billion-dollar industry, you know, we're not trying to be anybody else but ourselves. We are very committed to creating ethical products. We're very committed to creating, you know, and sharing the underdog mentality that Langston has been working out of, fighting towards his entire career. And, you know, it's a shoe for players by a player, and it's a family brand. And so I think this summer will be really cool as we're expanding the apparel line. We'll also have other colors of the LG1 dropping this fall. And I hear there's more coming, but no, Ethics is good. I love seeing Langston in his element, and shoes has always been his passion. You know, so he's a true sneakerhead. So when he decided to really go on this journey of making a shoe, he was very, very intentional about it, and in every single step and process. Yeah,
because he and not out here just buying shoes because they shoes.
Yeah. So he knows. So it's comfortable. Shoes. Yeah, absolutely. It's comfortable. It can stand the test of the court because he's played in it. He is playing in it, and it's excited. So please support, like, follow, buy anything Ethics the brand. That's us on all platforms. So you should really tap in.
I love that. And behind every strong man, you know, behind every successful man is a strong woman, because you are building these things with him, like alongside your partner, but you're doing the work that makes these things successful. And so with all the irons that you have in the fire, what are you building this for?
So one, we're building it for legacy, because something that our kids can essentially, you know, own, continue the work, and, you know, continue to, whether it's service or shoes, you know, continue that path or choose something else. I think that we've always known that we wanted to become entrepreneurs. We've always wanted to give back. And so we're doing it in a way that's most natural to us. I think what's so special about all of those different entities is, you know, like my baby, the Galloway Group. And so as a strategy and brand development firm, I am excited about continuing to work with clients. Of course, like Langston, if I don't fire him. But
she ain't firing him.
I'm not firing. She's not firing him, but no, but I'm excited about the Galloway Group because it is truly, you know, a building block on these projects and campaigns that we've already done. And so by expanding, you know, my capacity and opening myself up to take on new projects, it is really what I am most proud of, and just ready to continue to hit the ground running.
So what does success look like for you?
That's hard. I think because success is in the process for me. So it's really being able to learn each day and also able to like identify opportunities for growth.
Absolutely.
So success is continuing to always build on something and build towards a goal. And once that goal's obtained, let's set the next bar.
That is a perfect segue into this. Because like, what is your vision board? What is your actual vision board? What does that look like?
Oh,
the next 5 years of this journey, where are you?
Oh man, I'm trying to get through the year. But really, like I really ain't. Like I'm trying to get like
step by step.
I'm a step by step person. At every vision board party, I am not doing the vision board.
First of all,
so a group of my friends, we get together every year to do them, whether virtually or in person. And like one of my girlfriends, Kim, this was I was pregnant. And so this was 2019. Mm-hmm. Everything that she put on that vision board manifested. House, car, man, new job, like other really, really personal things. It was crazy. And I was like, wow.
I love success stories like this.
No, yeah, so for me, I'm excited about getting through the summer of the foundation and really launching those programs and introducing ourselves to the community and continuing to expand there. I'm excited about ethics and building on the apparel piece, continuing to come out with new shoes. So that's really cool. I'm excited about some upcoming projects that the Galloway group has, and I'm president of the Wives Association, so we have a huge summer summit this summer, and we're actually doing a lot of great things development-wise for our membership. So I am more than excited about that piece. So I'm gonna get through the summer. Fall, kids, so that's what my vision is.
Like, I'm asking you about a vision board, but I absolutely hate vision board. They give me so much anxiety. But you've also communicated enough, like throughout this conversation, anyways, is that like I already see what's there. Yeah. But in order to get there, I just have to. I have to move this thing step by step.
When it comes to work, like I will not purchase a shoe in store if they're like, oh, I'm gonna bring it home. I'm like, oh no, I need instant gratification. Yeah. But when it comes to actually work and building these entities, projects, and things that we have going on, I'm so focused in the intentional steps that build the actual empire. Yeah. And so like that. So that's what I'm stuck in. So I'm cool. Like I understand that even what you're seeing now did not come in the past 2 weeks. Oh yeah. 2 months. Like this has been years of consistently.
Absolutely. Say that again.
This has not came in this past 2 weeks. I'm like, wait, say what? No. But honestly, truly, like, I graduated from college and working in politics, and then Lex and I were talking, like, should I go to law school or business school? What's going to be better for our current now? Right. Because I've always wanted to go to law school, but it was actually business school and learning.
But focusing on the now. I love that.
Yeah, because that's more practical, and now I got my MBA probably a couple years ago now. Yeah. And but now that training and thinking has changed our mindset for us to be able to strategically plan out and execute. So I'm continuing that work, I think, to really see it going.
Right. So 30 is coming up.
30! She is 30! Yes, the countdown. I know y'all have seen it. She is 30.
What does this look like for you now? What is most important for you in life?
I'm excited about turning 30 because so I was 25 for about 4 years. I was stuck in 25. My friends that really know are like, oh, and to the point where I haven't got my age. But she is 30 this year. So 30 is important. I am so excited about this new journey, this new path, and just this like unleash, opening, awakening, all the things of me. Because for my 20s, I gave them to my family, my husband, my kids, like all of those different building moments. But 30 is me, and like now me in a very selfish way, but me being the best of me is me being the best wife. Yeah. Me being the best of me is being the best mom. And me being the best of me is being this awesome, entrepreneur, philanthropist, strategist, like all these different things. But that's me being the best version of me. So it's not leaving anyone else out, but I'm just making an intentional effort to really, really walk in my purpose, walk in my path, and be unapologetically about that.
I love that. And honestly,
She is 30.
She is 30.
Did you watch the Club Quarantine?
She is 30. I love that. But okay, so you said you don't want to be selfish towards, but to focus on me, to be good for everybody else.
Oh yes.
It has to be this little level of selfishness,
Mm-hmm.
and selfishness doesn't look like a dig at you, right?
No.
We're not pushing you off.
No.
But we got to make sure I'm good first, so that I can continue.
I'm building capacity for more.
Ooh,
that's really it. Like I'm literally building capacity for more, and I'm only able to do that by intentionally setting boundaries in specific areas to take on the load. We are in this world that everyone's offloading, they're taking off things, and people are not working and doing. That's cool and that's great. Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
But let me tell you about me.
Yeah.
I am preparing and I'm working to carry the load. I'm excited. We're building. Like it's heavy. I'm ready.
How do you manage to set boundaries in all these different spaces? Home, work, clients. Like what? How does that look? Is it effective?
It's effective. People don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
effective.
Do
you like it?
I like it, but I'm not as good as I want to be. Like,
do you feel guilty when you have to do it?
Yes.
Then that means you're doing it right.
Yeah. So no, I do feel guilty because I want to do there's when it's properly prepared and it's a great transition, a great handoff, then the boundaries are fine. I'm also building a team of very well capable and qualified individuals that makes that makes the handoff and me able to be more intentional at home. Because my team is very no. Like, why are you still responding to that? You I got it. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I can't. Because I'm used to doing everything by myself.
Thank you, team.
Right. So I think that the boundaries come with the elevation of capacity and with the infrastructure that you have in place. And it's not something that I've always had or we've always had, but I am intentionally trying to work towards that.
I haven't known you personally for a long time, but I am super proud of you. I am super proud to just share life with you and to be in these spaces, because I've grown to really love you, right? And so I want to know what advice would you give women? And this is young women, this is older women who are just building a career, starting from scratch, or they may just be at a point where they just feel stuck. What's some advice that you can give them to keep pushing forward?
I think that we have to be very intentional about the season that we're in right now. So as I talk about 30, while I was in my 20s, I wasn't looking forward to my 30s. I was living life in my 20s and I was taking advantage and soaking in all those moments and the seasons that I was in.
Yep.
So when that chapter closed and we moved on to the next, and as we were in this transition, I'm open and ready to receive. So I think a lot of times we get so into the minor details of looking side by side, and when we focus on ourselves and what truly brings us happiness, and even when you don't know, but you have to spend intentional time with yourselves, getting to know what you like, getting to know what you don't like, and most importantly, getting to know, you.
Yes.
And so I think my best advice is take the time to spend with yourself, take the time to enjoy where you are at this moment, because when the roller coaster rides, you just gotta hop on.
I love that. So tell them where can they find you?
Oh yes, okay. So you can find me on Instagram at SEAUXSAB, SEAUXSAB. Please follow the foundation, the Langston Galloway Foundation on Instagram. We also have a website, the LangstonGallowayFoundation.org. The real message is buy the shoes. Buy the shoes. That's it. Buy the shoes. Buy the shoes. Ethics to Brand at Ethics to Brand, ethicstobrand.com. Because support is a lot of things. Support is liking a post, sharing a post, and tapping into our story. And then the support, it also is buying a pair of shoes.
And they ain't got them in your size, ladies. Most of y'all, but you can buy them for your man.
You can buy them for your man. We have dad hats, so we have something for everyone.
I love that. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Sabrina, thank you so much for being with us today. If you are not following us,
follow. Tell someone else to follow.
Right.
We just talked about support.
So thank y'all for being with us today. Make sure you gather your girlfriends and bring them over to the Curate Network, and we will see you next time. Bye.